Itsuomi lets go of her hand. Then he stands up to get the clothes from the washer. Ah, it finished, Yuki thought, and remembers she has to go home soon. Itsuomi calls her name while spins the clothes he is holding to get Yuki's attention. He asks if she has a curfew or not. She texts, she has one and it's 10 p.m. He realizes that she has a bit more than an hour left and asks what's the next sign in sign language, after the more, while grinning at her. Which one would you like to know, she replies. Then she continued teaching Itsuomi sign language. She felt relieved that they can still be together and wonders why their time together has to be so short. Itsuomi offers to take her home and asks which way is her house. As they started walking, Itsuomi puts himself on the curb side of the sidewalk and tells Yuki don't get run over. She thought, he must have mean to not get hit by a car. Side note, the verbs for getting attracted and getting hit by a car both start the same, just with a different kanji. That's why she's thinking like that. She thought, even though it's like he's holding her in his palms and feels very protected right now. She realizes this is why everyone comes to like Itsuomi and then remembers the scene in the bar. But then realizes the bar manager already told her they're just friends. She shakes her head, wants to stop herself feeling gloomy because of this, and she has to think about something positive. She remembers Rin telling themselves that they have to keep at it even more. Yuki then stops and tapped Itsuomi to get his attention and started typing at her phone and showed it to him. She asks, the woman who came to the bar the other day, if she is his girlfriend. Because no matter what Yuki thinks about, it's all linked to that one thing. Itsuomi asks who, and she added that they were both really drunk and she was together with a man who wore sunglasses. Itsuomi realizes who it is. Yuki thought that in situations like this, it's a cruel feeling that you have to look someone in the eye. Itsuomi gently touches her cheeks, and replies that she's not his girlfriend, and Emma is a friend. Yuki felt relieved now that she hears it directly from him. Itsuomi raises Yuki's face and asked, what about her? There is someone, a guy from the university with whom she gets along well, who knows sign language. She realizes at that time, Itsuomi saw them. She texts him, he is just a childhood friend, and at the university is just the first time they were going to the same school. She continues, Ashi's older sister is also learning sign language and it seems like he just naturally memorized it from her. He asks since when. She texts, it started around the second year of elementary school when he told her that she was an idiot. I see, Itsuomi says. But usually they don't have that much to do with each other, she added. Itsuomi got enough of the topic and changes the topic, and it's snowing a bit again. She realizes how he's speaking at his own pace. Then Itsuomi suddenly stares at her. He thought she looks like the Yukinko, the snow child, a winter spirit, and asks if she is really human, and asks if he can call her Yukinko. She replies, it's fine because she likes the snow. But Itsuomi says he won't call her that, but he too likes Yuki, which he means the snow. But it made her blush because she has the same name as the snow, and signs language the snow, and he get it. He asks, what's like in sign language? She gestures it. He then copies it, and he tells her he might use it someday. She asks to whom. He disagrees that he will use it, for example, he likes traveling. She realizes she got it wrong and quickly changes the topic and asks when they can meet again. He replies when he gets day off at the bar on Thursday. She gestures and he asks if it means promise and copies her. Then he offers to his pinky at her, and they did a pinky swear promising to see each other that day. Then she shakes it and it made Itsuomi to smile. Then they continue walking home. Yuki thought that right now, it's like her heart is screaming, and it gets scattered around by the direction of the wind. While preparing to go to bed, Yuki realizes that was the first time that she barely made it until the curfew. She remembers the coin Itsuomi gave to her, and just by holding it in her hand, it feels like she can go just anywhere. Later she receives a message from Rin that the next time the bar is closed, she's going to do some errands with the bar manager. Yuki replies that it is amazing. But being alone with the bar manager in the car is still a big hurdle for Rin, then asks, is Yuki and Itsuomi wants to come along and the four of them go instead. She wonders if it's okay to make plans like this and decided to ask him. As Itsuomi is about to enter his apartment building, he notices Emma standing in front and asks her, since when she is here. Emma tells him just no, and she bought something to drink and asks him to let her stay over. Then they enter the elevator together and Itsuomi tells her that just some time ago Shin stayed over as well. She asks if his family didn't return yet and he agrees. She then leans her head to Itsuomi and asks if he knows the meaning behind her staying over. Then he exits the elevator telling her not to cling to him as he already told her. He unlocks his door and asks if she's gonna come in. Then they enter the house together. Emma asks what he likes to drink, he replies he's good. He tells her she can use the things she needed around the house and the spare key is at the entrance. Then as he was about to exit the house, he asks Emma not to give the key to Shin. Emma says wait and asks where Itsu is going holding his arm. It's already late and he shouldn't go out anymore. She asks if he hated it so much that she came over. He tells her that she shouldn't do it anymore and she started tearing up. She explains that she just did it because of him. Itsuomi asks Emma not to cry that much in his house because she's a nuisance to the neighbors surprises her. Now Emma alone at his house, cries and shouts she is going home after a can. Then she notices a notebook at the table, a notes for sign language. Kyuya opens his door because he heard someone rang his door. There outside he found Itsuomi saying to let him crash here and he is hungry. Kyuya complains that he didn't hear anything about the reason, but he can somehow imagine why. Itsuomi and Kyoya is now watching a movie. Itsuomi asks if he can turn the subtitles on for the movie. Kyoya notices he always do that and he's repeating the speech after hearing it from the movie. He wonders why he still does these things since Itsuomi is already speaking fluently. But Itsuomi replies, he'll forget it otherwise if he don't use it. Kyoya tells him that whatever Itsuomi do, it seems like he needs to make steady efforts for it. Then Itsuomi remembers Yuki with her friend Ashi. Kyoya notices Itsuomi gesturing and asks if that is sign language and if he learned it from Yuki. Kyoya continues that unlike English, even if he learns the sign language he can only use it with that girl at the moment. He asks again, why did Itsuomi want to learn sign language, is it for the sake of a dream? But Itsuomi only ignores all of it. Kyoya is worried since he believes Yuki likes Itsu and there's also that issue with Emma. He doesn't want Yuki to cry so he is really worried. Itsuomi then reads a message from his phone and confirms if Kyoya made an appointment with Rin. Then Kyoya agrees and asks if he wants to come along going to Costco. Itsuomi notices Kyoya and Rin being a thing. But Kyoya only says there's nothing going on between them. Yuki while waiting for the train is feeling nervous and happy and anxious at the same time. She is a bit worried if it will be alright having conversations between four people. Then he enters the train and felt bad because the manager will pick them up from Rin's house. She doesn't want to be found out by Ashi again like last time, but unfortunately, Ashi spotted her again. Ashi then approaches Yuki to ask where she is going, but this surprises Yuki. She explains she just happened to have an errand, but Ashi is irritated with her behavior. As she tries to calm down, she gestures to him that she is going to the library. Ashi then remembers their last conversation asking when she came back the other day but Yuki just ignores him and sits. Ashi continues to annoy Yuki. She realizes he behaves like a child compared to Itsuomi. After that, he sat beside Yuki and started twirling Yuki's hair. She slaps Ashi's hand to make him stop. Ashi stares at Yuki intently before he puts his head on her shoulder with a sour face. Yuki gestures that he is heavy making him sit up straight again. Yuki then receives a text saying that Itsuomi is at the ticket gate. This makes Yuki blush knowing that he came to pick her up. She stands up then exits the train without saying anything to Ashi. He yells that the stop is not where the library is. Yuki is surprised with the amount of people today in the station making her stagger. Ashi annoyingly calls out her name. Yuki tries to find Itsuomi until a hand catches her from the crowd. It is Itsuomi. He grabs her by the waist saying he got her. Ashi shouts Yuki which makes Itsuomi look at him then it makes Yuki turn around also. She finds Ashi asking what kind of business does she have with that guy but she just turns away to ignore him. Ashi shouts hey again but this time Itsuomi answers him and asks what while he pulls Yuki. Ashi explains that Yuki can't hear and it is better not to hug her from behind. Yuki can't see what they are talking about since Itsuomi tries to not let her see it. He replies to Ashi that Yuki said that it is okay if he does it. Ashi can't believe it.